What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another 90-day fiance video, and this one right here is all about Eve and Mohamed. And in this video, we're going to be covering every single time Mohamed was highly disrespectful to Eve just because he was not getting his own way. Now, of course, yesterday we did cover every single time Bilal put Shahida through hell. If you have not seen that video yet, it is here on the page, so please check it out. But hey, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, every single person that is a member of Patreon, and every single person that is a subscriber. And with that being said, let's get it. Oh, my apologies. We're also going to be covering every single time Eve ignored the red flags and the signs that indicated that she should have never married Mohamed. And well, she did, didn't she? But let's get into it.
Some of my best friends, they have all these concerns. Like, what does he do? Or why is he so young? It's like, oh my gosh, like, there's got to be a reason why the guy wants to be with you, not just because he loves you. Like, I don't know, he needs a sugar mama or he wants a green card or something like that. And
it's crazy though, because episode 3, straight away, the concerns are there from her friends. And the concerns definitely were highlighted heavily by her friends to Eve. It makes me wonder though, why have friends that you see as your best friends, as you see as your community, but yet you don't want to listen to anything that they want to say? I mean, at the end of the day, we even got as far as the friends even ambushing Mohamed. Whoa, I say that. Eve even got involved. So it makes you wonder, you get your friends involved, but for what? Because you're clearly not getting involved because you want to listen. And that is something that we learn as the season goes by. But at the end of the day, it is quite interesting that even before he had landed in the United States of America, she already had her warnings from her friends that there are possibilities he may just be using you. But hey, Eve did whatever she could. We'll get there. Let's continue.
I just feel it in every part of my being that I know that it's right. I'm a pretty intuitive person. I've already made decisions of what I'm doing, and that's not going to change.
And that mindset right there is legit the pinnacle of the rest of the story when it came to Eve's decision making when it involved her and Mohamed in the long run. But hey, despite the fact that she made it abundantly clear that she was never going to turn back, for whatever bizarre reason is, we'll continue and identify every single reason of why she should have gone against her own word. And sometimes in life, it is not good to be stubborn to your word, especially when you're stubborn to a word that is actually harming you, and most importantly, also harming your child. But yet you want to be naive to ignore that. For what? For what? I ask again, for what? But let's continue.
I'm a little nervous tonight because I know my friends have some concerns about Mohamed changing who I am. And honestly, I'm a little worried as well because of his recent rules and behavior towards me. But I'm trying to cut Mohamed some slack because I know that the culture here is new to him. So I hope my friends will be open tonight and be able to see that he's a good man and has a beautiful soul. Hi! Hello, hello! Hi, everybody! This is Mohamed! Hello! Can we hug? Can we just hug? He's like, we're excited to meet Mohamed for the first time to figure out if his intentions are real and if they're true and as genuine as Eve's. So thanks for coming. I'm so happy and excited that you guys all finally get
so happy to see you.
You're finally here, Mohamed. How was the travel?
It was very long.
It was very long.
My first impression about Eve's friends that they are weird. I felt that they are trying to see how I will react because I'm Muslim. So they, in purpose, show more of their boobs, and I don't need to see that.
Doing really good here.
What's the drink? Do you like some wine?
Actually, I'll bypass the wine tonight. So we'll start with some water. All right, thank you. Are you comfortable with us having wine?
Yes, I don't mind.
Do we have some questions for you? Is it okay if we take it easy? Put you in the hot seat, Mohamed.
You can ask me anything.
Lightning round, okay? Have you had any other serious girlfriends besides me?
I was serious, and I talked to her parents to engage me with her.
And what happened?
She broke up with me because I don't have money.
But you were so young, though, too.
Yes.
But like, speaking of age, like, what did you think when you found out Eve's like double your age?
She's still pretty.
She's still pretty. So it didn't matter.
No.
Have you ever been intimate with any other women? Like, have sex with any other women? No? You never like made out or like?
No.
You You never were like, hey girl.
Hey, how you doing? You never kissed another woman, and if you've never, no, really, like, have you ever watched porn? Have you ever,
Oh my God.
I mean, I know we're animals, we have instincts, like, we know what to do.
You just knew? You just.
Yes, I knew that. In Egypt, no one never will ask this kind of question. She's sitting, talking about sex, talking about, are you watching porno or not? I don't want to be here. But I'm doing that for Eve. I don't want Eve get upset, but it's very difficult.
So we've heard Eve's side of the love story. Can you explain to us your side?
So the story started when I went to her profile.
Oh, so you started like.
I texted you first.
Yes. Okay. I understand that in the picture she was wearing a bikini, right? That you saw her in. But I understand it's now a problem for her to maybe wear a bikini.
Like, is this freaking you out?
Got a lot of it going on.
I don't care about anyone but my wife, just because she's mine. Since I come here, she's wearing dresses because I feel more comfortable here about that because I know
Our traditions are different.
exactly.
I mean, I know you guys seem like, oh, relief. But like, just even coming here, like, he was nervous about me not wearing this dress and like my butt was showing. I was gonna wear a shorter jacket, and then he was like, your butt is gonna show. I called Mohammed out because he was being controlling, like right before we went out to dinner. So I felt like I had to stand up for myself because it wasn't true what he was saying, and that doesn't feel good to me.
So that's a protection for the woman because you don't know the intention of other people.
It's like, I get it, but it's like, my husband's different. He's confident in who he is as a man. You know, he doesn't tell me what to wear.
I never think Eve is dressed inappropriate or in a bad way.
Eve chose me, so she know me before. I was clear about what I like and what I don't like. You know?
Was that clear, Eve? It's not that clear cut. It really, I'm sorry, it's not.
You didn't come to Egypt and saw how.
I'm not. You know, we're not in what you wear. It's never in a positive way, like how you're saying. If you're trying to protect her, it's more of controlling.
I don't know, like why women over here feeling like they doesn't want to be controlled.
I know you're seeing it.
That's talking about that. Not going to change my mind.
I'm concerned that he's this controlling tyrant, and I would hate for her just to compromise to a union that I think should accept you fully as you are.
I'm very curious why you're judging me. You can't hide it actually. You know, like I see in your eyes everything.
And we see in your eyes, too.
They having their boobs hanging out and they don't want anyone judge them, but they were judging me the entire time. And that's just showing how stupid they are, you know.
The classic scene. The scene of the Karens. This scene was iconic, not gonna lie to you. Arguably one of the best scenes of the season. But here's the thing though. Even though it was an iconic scene, arguably one of the best scenes of the season, considering it was such a poor season, it was yet such a pointless scene. It's crazy how one of the best scenes is actually one of the most pointless scenes. But why is it one of the most pointless scenes? Because nothing was learned from it moving forward from both Mohamed and Eve. I mean, to be fair, for Mohamed, maybe there was nothing to learn because he was always going to be the way he wanted to be. And maybe that's the same thing for Eve too. Because Eve has already said that she's going to stick to this no matter what. She's made her choice and she wants him. Mohamed, well, we was under the impression for the whole season that he just wanted to ride it out for that green card. Even if it meant manipulating Eve by making her feel as if he may leave, which is something that we will get to throughout the video. But here's the thing though, you're having a meeting here. Because it wasn't a dinner date. I mean, it wasn't a dinner. It wasn't a greeting, okay? It was legit a meeting. A meeting of let's question you in the most ridiculous ways possible. But every single question that was asked, whether there was a good question or a terrible question, in the end, they all didn't mean a thing. And it's so crazy because as I saw this episode, as I saw this scene the very first time, I was like, rah, so Eve's gonna ambush him with her friends? Now looking at it this time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, rah, so your friends were basically calling out everything that you wanted him to call out, so you can basically investigate him some more. You get all the answers that tells you that you need to run, but instead of running, Eve stays. And then on the flip side, Mohamed, now on the other hand, you've just traveled from Egypt to America. You're in a position where you're getting grilled by a bunch of random women that you don't even know, but yet you still wanted to stay in the relationship. And the most craziest thing was the conversation that they have after. The conversation that they have after, well, let's get to that one and then I'll continue.
You seem quiet.
You're acting like he wasn't there or something.
What?
You didn't hear what they said?
Yes, I heard what they said, and
So do you think it's nice?
you seem like you were okay.
No, I'm not okay. I just hold it for you.
Mohammed has a right to feel disrespected, but I don't think it was intentional. I think that was a little too much for Mohammed coming from a completely different world.
I respect your culture and the difference between here and Egypt, but they didn't do the same. They judge me all the time, but their opinion, it doesn't matter to me. And actually, I disappointed with you if when I told you my opinion about your clothes, that was private moment between me and you.
Well, first of all, Tatiana knows that we had a huge fight in August.
So you told Tatiana about the fight?
Because I was
with
upset.
me?
I didn't talk to you for 2 or 3 days. That's the longest we never talked before. Ever. Back in the summer, Mohammed was furious that I went on a family trip and was at a hotel and went to the pool and did not have a one-piece bathing suit. And I just thought it was really trivial and not a big deal.
You know what? You told me I'm going to change myself.
No, I did not say
you
that.
said
That's Mohammed.
You change what you agreed about in this point, and you take advantage of my...
That's BS. Like, I'm wearing a bathing suit, a one-piece bathing suit. I'm sick of being judged myself, too. Like, I can't even put on a dress that I think is nice without you being, like, giving me a hard time. Oh, you can't wear that
You
jacket.
agreed
Do I
and
do that to
disagreed
you?
after that.
Cause all this drama over a frickin' bikini.
After you said you're not going to wear a bikini
Who
anymore...
cares about a bikini?
That's why I got upset. After you said that,
don't
you
give-
did it.
Oh, please, give me a break. You met me, the first picture you ever saw, and then you DM'd me with me in a bikini.
And I told
now
you
I
I'm
can't
not
wear a
going
bikini.
to marry a woman wearing a bikini anymore. You told me at the first when I met you that you want to change and you want to...
What? Change for what? No, I don't. I don't even know what he's talking about, actually. I chose to stop eating pork. I told him I would only drink on special occasions. And I cleaned out my closet for things that I know he wouldn't approve of, but there's other things that I kept that I still might want to wear. But I never told him I'm never going to wear a bikini again. I'm absolutely furious. I'm trying to tell you that, obviously things are different here.
You can dress whatever you want, drink wine or whatever, but don't get married. Are you going to choose a bikini over me? If she wanted to follow her friends in how they are dressed, I will not be a part of that. Because if she does, I will fly to Egypt before the 90 days end.
Someone tell me. Put yourself in their shoes. You and your partner are having a disagreement because one of you decided to wear a bikini. And the other one wasn't happy. And in this conversation, one of you says, "You told me you was going to change." The other one says, "No, I didn't." At that point, you're feeling, well, I know I'd be feeling as if you just lied to me. But you told me you was going to change and now you're telling me you didn't. I don't like that energy. That energy is very uncomfortable, very unstable, and definitely toxic as hell. But it's quite interesting though, because the thing that I was looking for in this scene, I was looking for them to highlight the issue that they had within communication. The issues that, and also to highlight obviously the behavior, or at least some of the things that were addressed by the friends. But it's interesting how they only wanted to focus on a freaking dress. But I do understand that the sole purpose of the conversation was more about, you told me this, no I didn't. Yes you did, no I did not. Communication. And the communication between Eve and Mohammed has been absolutely atrocious throughout the whole season. How can someone of her age be willing to settle in a relationship, in a marriage, with someone that she has no communication with in a healthy way? Because the matter of fact is, she's got a kid, and because she's got a kid, communication is always going to be a big thing for anyone who's got a child. Even though communication is a big thing regardless of a child, we all know once a child is involved, it definitely changes the landscape to a certain degree. But again though, going back to the scene itself in particular, I said to you that that scene was iconic because it was an ambush, but it was also freaking pointless. Their conversation that they have after that is also pointless. Because what happens from this time going forward? Well, let's continue. But of course, I know you're still here. Because you're still here, you gotta make sure you hit that like button. Of course, because you're still here and you're new to the channel, you gotta subscribe. Notification bells on. But anyway, we continue.
Mohammed and I got in an argument last night. My friends really pushed his buttons in regards to his religion and beliefs. I definitely felt upset and sad because I do feel some aspects of control, and I kind of feel that Mohammed is... But at the same time, I definitely feel bad that Mohammed felt disrespected and uncomfortable. So I want to forget about yesterday and just take a step back and have a nice morning together. Oh, that's hot. So I've never been to a mosque before. When we go there, I feel like I don't know what to expect. I definitely want to convey that I didn't mean to disrespect him, and I want to show him that I respect his beliefs. So I'm taking him to a nearby mosque since he hasn't been one since he entered the United States.
When you're there, you're going to cover your hair, so out of respect. So that's it.
I have to, wear a hijab?
Yeah. I'm really very excited for going to this mosque. I think by going to the mosque with me, Eve is going to see how beautiful this religion is.
I feel like I'm a nun or something.
And she's gonna understand why I got defensive about the conversation with her friends. And maybe she's gonna be interested to become a Muslim.
It's quite interesting though, because I really want us to focus on the fact that he says that maybe she's going to become Muslim. Because there were certain things that Mohammed says in the season, but then he contradicts himself. Goes back on his word. He'll be like, no, but I never said that. No, I wasn't saying that. I was just suggesting that maybe this could happen. But no, I never said that. But I did tell you this. I did tell you this though. And I'm not going to change my mind. Mohammed, what a fool. But anyway, focus on this whole maybe she become a Muslim. Because boy, I think it was very evident anyway that she wasn't going to, because the first thing that she asked is, do I have to wear a hijab? And she wasn't exactly happy to do that. And she even makes the comment about, I look like a nun? Like, really? Far from the same thing. But anyway, I guess that is just the uneducated version of Eve, which is not a good enough reason personally. But anyway, we continue.
It's so hot.
Makes you look more beautiful.
I will be supportive in what Mohammed does in regards to his religion, but I don't feel comfortable wearing a hijab or covering my head because I never have before. I'm not a practicing Muslim, so I don't want to be wearing something that isn't true to form to me.
Yeah, this is a mosque.
This probably looks different than mosques you're used to, but... Okay.
Taking your shoes off so you can enter the mosque. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome. My name is Rafe.
My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed, a pleasure. Welcome.
My name is Eve.
Assalamu alaikum, Eve. Nice to meet you. My name is Asia. How are you guys today?
Good.
Good. Great.
MashaAllah. So we're going to make a prayer soon. Eve, would you like to pray with us? I can show you how. You can just follow me. Here.
Oh, okay.
This is our ladies section. Mohammed, come on, I'll introduce you to everyone.
How the segregation of men and women was just right off the bat.
Wudu is where we wash ourselves for cleanliness. So before we pray, we have to make wudu.
I think for Mohammed, maybe it makes him feel comfortable because that's what he's used to, but it makes me feel very uncomfortable because I'm not used to that.
Oh, you don't have to take your shoes on.
Okay. Sorry. I guess I need to leave those for somebody else, right?
Yeah. So I do this prayer that inshallah you become a Muslim.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Allah Akbar.
Islam is important to me because my life when I was a kid, my father was a religion man. We were going together to pray every single day. But my father passed away when I was 14.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
He got sick. He went to the hospital. And just a few days later, he passed away. When I pray in the mosque, I think of him. I hope I can be like he wants me to be.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
So how is your relationship with Eve about Islam? Is she interested? interested in.
I want to help her to study Islam because, you know, like, we had argument about clothes. Like, she's feeling like it's not fair for the women to be a lot of rules for them, and men can't be like that.
I think some of the challenges that Muhammad is going to come across here in this culture is definitely the kind of more liberal attitudes. And so it's really important that he finds Muslims here in Albuquerque that he'll connect with. So I'm looking forward to spending more time with him.
So I'm like,
To learn and get a little more information. I think that the people at the mosque were very nice, and I'm glad that Muhammad will have a Muslim community here. But a part of me is worried that he'll expect me to convert to Islam.
Assalamu alaikum.
So that makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Welcoming.
And who knows, maybe this is the first step for you to convert to Islam.
I don't have any plans of converting.
It's quite fascinating because, you see, did Eve really ever have any expectations for Muhammad to change his ways? I mean, we can argue and say that no, she didn't. But also at the same time, we can also have the conversation of, was she hoping that he would change his mind to allow her to stay within her ways? Absolutely. But the most craziest thing is that it is a fine line between you not wanting to change yourself and you wanting to convince the other person that you're not going to change, to where, and this is where it gets sticky, to where you are now being, is the word judgmental? Or is the word not understanding? And I say this because she walks in, the first thing that she wants to complain about, or voice about, shall I say, is the segregation between the men and the women. I mean, is it really that much of a big deal that the women go off and do their own thing and the men go off and do their own thing? Not necessarily. I mean, I've never been in that situation, obviously, within this setting. But at the end of the day, though, if I'm going to walk in, I'm going to be respectful to the setup. I'm not going to be making my comments about, oh, this is happening, that, my apologies, and that is happening. And the reason why I'm identifying this is because, you see, it really tells you how unwilling Eve was always going to be to not want to compromise her ways to the way Muhammad would have preferred it to be. So obviously, Muhammad said he would have liked her to have been a Muslim. Now, it's a good thing that she said that's not going to happen, because at least then that situation is completely out of the water, right? Which is fantastic. But at the end of the day, though, Eve says that she wants to be supportive, but then when she's supportive, she's then got opinions. And it's crazy because she wanted Muhammad to go meet her friends. He did that. And when he did that without even trying to judge them, but instead, they judged him. He then wants her to go to with him to pray, but then she's judging, even though he's brought her to a location where everyone is welcoming. Everyone is lovely to her. There's no ambush, there's no questions, there's no grilling. And these little things identify again why these two should have never been together. One reason here for one of the red flags is that Eve is judgmental to Muhammad's culture. Straight away, that's one reason why that's a red flag of why she doesn't need to be with him and he doesn't need to be with her. Two, when he met her friends, they were all over him, judging him like there was no tomorrow. You see how the word judging is so strong, but the judging is only coming from one side. But even though it's coming from one side, it is still a red flag on both ends. It's quite interesting because they had a very, very interesting relationship, to be honest, because the relationship starts off with more Eve being the issue, but then it develops into Muhammad then being the issue, which makes me wonder, did the issues that they had later on Muhammad's side only start to occur because of everything that Eve had done at the very beginning? Because she'd done a lot of damage at the beginning on her own accord with her own mouth and also with her friends, which therefore ended up, I guess, maybe if we want to argue this, that maybe Muhammad really did have feelings for Eve. But as the season went on, because of her behavior, his feelings for started to fade away. And he was like, you know what? Now my focus is only going to be on one thing. And that is where we talk about allegedly the green card. But hey, let's continue, because like I said before, there is a build-up within the change of attitude on both sides. But one of the biggest problems that we'll definitely have to also remember is communication always an issue. Wanting to change on one another is always an issue. And also not really having a compromise between any one of them two. Because even when Eve would compromise, she would then try and kind of like flip the script. So before they went out for the meal, oh, I'm going to cover my dress to compromise for you. then you go out the meal, oh, wait a minute, that compromise that I made, yeah, forget that, I'm not going to attack you. Let's continue.
All right, so I'm just going to meet Tatiana just for a little bit. I won't be long.
So you're going out and I'm staying home?
Like, I'm not going to be gone that long. I will be back very soon.
Okay.
I'm really annoyed right now because I feel like he's just giving me a guilt trip. I have a lot on my plate, and I definitely need a little time with my friend.
I can't imagine, like, they're not here and we could have a nice dinner together and we can watch a movie together.
It's just going to be a short girls' session.
Are you going to drink with your friend?
It would be nice to have a glass of wine, actually.
Really?
I told you once in a while I might want a glass of wine.
It's up to you.
I know that Mohamed is not used to women going out with their friend, but I feel like this is something Mohamed is just going to have to get comfortable with because I don't want to feel like a guilt trip or control that I just can't go out and spend some time with some friends. I won't be long, I promise, okay? Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, bye.
It's really frustrating to see her going out because my worst fears that if she act like her friends and get affected by their opinions, that's going to be very bad for this relationship.
The question is though, why would it be bad for their relationship? Why? Is it because then Mohamed has less chance of controlling Eve, less chance of changing her ways, less chance of getting her to convert? Because really and truly, he experienced friends, and the friends were definitely a roadblock for him. They were definitely going to be an issue for him to get whatever he seeked or would have wished from Eve, and that would have been converting to becoming an Islam woman. And at the end of the day, did I say Islam? No, Islamic woman. Yeah, I was going to say Muslim woman, but yeah, so stupid. But let's continue. But at the end of the day, now I've lost my wording. Come on, man. What was you going to say, bro? Get back into this. Okay, let's just wing it. Let's go. So at the end of the day, in a nutshell, the situation that we have at hand here is that Mohamed is still feeling like the friends are going to be an issue for him to try and actually change Eve, which is the problem because clearly these two went into a relationship looking to change one another. Mohamed made it abundantly clear what he wanted to change. Eve was like, okay. But when it came to it, she was like, nah, I'm good. So their battle was literally a battle of back and forth about are you going to change? No, I'm not. Are you going to change? No, I'm not. It's like a bunch of kids. Legit like a bunch of kids. But again, the why? Because communication was always the biggest issue. But the thing is though, the communication wasn't a big issue because they wasn't communicating. The communication was an issue because they wasn't being honest. Or at least in this narrative, it came across as if Eve wasn't being honest. Eve wasn't looking to stick to her word. At least that's the narrative that Mohamed was definitely trying to push out there, as well as TLC. Which is quite sad. Now, at the same time, though, am I happy that she didn't try and change her ways to benefit him? I am happy. Why? Because it therefore allows him to expose his real intentions, or at least one of his intentions, and that is that green card. But at the same time, though, you got a child involved, and this is where it gets a little bit sticky. When a child is involved, the games like these shouldn't be played. At the end of the day, if I'm someone who's a single parent and I'm about to get in a relationship with somebody else, I got to make sure that me and that person are solid. I got to make sure that my child is getting brought into a relationship where me and that person are absolutely top notch. Nothing else but that. But hey, Eve on the other hand, wanted to ignore all the red flags that were in front of her because at the end of the day, the red flags were there. The red flags were very simple for Eve's side, and that was that you two are never going to be on the same page because you both just have two complete different beliefs, two complete different approaches, and that is just the bottom line. And for Mohamed, the red flags were there for him too. The only difference between Eve and Mohamed is that Eve was more than happy to ignore the red flags and continue because she's a loony. That's the best word I can have for you right now. And with Mohamed now, he was more than happy to tolerate the red flags to get what he wanted. Let's continue. Because to be honest with you, we're not even... I felt like we're still in the beginning. It's about to get a whole lot better. Or a whole lot worse for them, but a whole lot better for us. Anyway, if you're still here, like the video, subscribe. Let's get it.
Can we just, can we just, I know, and I want to talk to you because I can thank you. moment we walked in that door, like, you're not allowed to be over here, you have to go over here. Like, all these rules. It's like, really? Do you think that he thinks that you're going to eventually convert? I don't know. I just cannot see myself converting. It does not feel good to me. It doesn't sound like he's flexible or accommodating to what she needs. And she's doing everything for him. How is that fair? So, what does he think of us? So, honestly, yeah, he is a little offended. About what? In his country, culture, in Egypt, they do not talk about sex at all. And then just feeling like he was being judged. Wait, so hold on. Danielle, are you? Yeah, we didn't sleep together that night. Is that why he didn't want you to come? Because you're coming there with me? We're not bad people because we talk about sex. We're not bad people because we ask some questions. And I can, I'll take ownership of that. Like, hey, maybe it was too far. I apologize. It's a unique situation and we just wanted to figure it out. I just want maybe in the next situation that it's more relaxed, more natural, and he doesn't feel like he's being judged. Because obviously, like, you are all important to me and I love you all. And it would make me really sad. I just don't want to lose you. But it's a slippery slope. I know it's not a normal situation. I know that. Trust me, I'm the one who's like dealing with all of this stuff. If you've ever been in a relationship that's taken like a not so positive turn, this is how it starts out. So I'm having a hard time finding the difference of him truly like using his religion as something that it's like a way of life versus a way to control her. Like even her coming out tonight, the fact that he was like having a little fit about it is not something that can just be undone if it's not working out. So I just hope that they're able to get on the same page and he's just as supportive as she is to him because she deserves that. I haven't said to you because I respect you and like despite it all, Eve, the questions that we're asking is because we care. Where we're coming from is a place of just making sure that you're going to be okay. And what we're hearing is concerning.
I don't know about everyone else, but I originally thought that the reason why Eve had her friends around was because if there was anything that she was blind to, they were there to be the eye-opener for her to not make one of the biggest mistakes of her life. And this is why, like, throughout the season, I guess, that her friends ended up fading away. Why? Because no matter what they said, Eve still did what Eve wanted to do. And that was bring her son into a life of a marriage that is unstable, unhappy, and like so many qualities that a relationship should have with or without a child. Honestly, another scene that just now feels so pointless. Felt slightly powerful at the time, but now just feels like, was this just airtime for the sake of having airtime? Hey, we continue. Let me know your thoughts so far. Let's get it.
You told me you're going to be home 1 or 2 hours and you came back like 10 or 10:30. I was asleep.
Since Mohammed's arrival, I've been super stressed because I just feel like all of a sudden there's all these rules and I'm not used to that. I'm a very independent woman and I've taken care of myself most of my life. And so I'm sorry, but like things are different here. I'm not Muslim and he does not live in a Muslim country anymore. Okay, well, I don't want to give up that time that sometimes I just need to be with my friends. My life is super busy and I have a lot of responsibilities. And last night I had a little time with my friend. Like my friends are just worried about me.
Every time your friends telling you we are worried about you, that makes like no sense to me. Like I'm trying to understand what they are mean about that.
They don't want me to lose who I am.
So in Arabic we say ما تحطش السم في العسل. That means don't spill the poison in the honey. So I feel that happening when Eve go out with her friends and they started to. That's why she acting like she doesn't know me.
I think it's just there's a lot of differences that everybody's just not used to dealing with. And I'm trying to navigate like just learning about your religion, but like I don't have any intentions of converting.
Don't connect my religion with who you are and you're scared because it doesn't make any sense.
It's just
when they say that, they say that to you,
no, I feel
defended.
I feel the same way because I don't want to lose who I am.
They cannot judge me because they judging me by saying when they tell you we are scared if you lose who you are. Do you feel like you're going to lose who you are with me?
Sometimes I do.
Why?
Because I feel like your religion is too confining for me. I'm a very free spirit, and I don't want to abbreviate myself for anyone.
She doesn't have to convert to my religion, but I expected Eve to respect my culture. It doesn't make any sense to me because you know who I am since 2 years before I even come here. Now, if I did hide anything from you, let me know, because I was very clear with you about everything.
But so am I. I want you to accept who I am. Do you accept that I'm an American woman, that I'm not Islamic, and I'm not Muslim?
Oh, God. You want to achieve that. I try to control you. You want to achieve
No, I want to clarify. I want to
No,
clarify.
that's not right. That's happened to you when you hang out with your friends.
That's very disrespectful and rude for you to say that, because that is not true.
Did Eve just say use Islamic and Muslim in the same sentence as if they're two different bloody things? Anyway, let's just get into it. This is the most bizarre relationship I've ever seen, to be fair with you. The more and more I'm looking more into it again, the more and more I'm sitting there thinking, raw. So Eve had friends around her telling her all the red flags that she ignored. Mohamed was identifying all the red flags that Eve was bringing to the table that he ignored. Well, actually, no. Eve ignores the red flags that are brought to the table by her friends. Mohamed eventually has he's recognizing the red flags, has he's recognized that the red flags are there more and more. This is like the more and more he's now switching off. I mean, honestly, I'm starting to believe that my perspective on Mohamed is starting to change. Because at the end of the day, you know, we are witnessing a change in his attitude, a change in his behavior. And I do genuinely believe that at the very get-go, he had met a woman that had told him X, Y, Z, that he was more than happy with. That's why he flew over. But then the second that he lands, the things that they had spoken about, Eve continues to deny them. And not only does she deny them, but she also gets her friends involved. Now I do wonder that everything that her friends were saying, they must have been based on things that Eve was telling them, even though Eve was probably withholding information that that really happened. So therefore it made Mohamed look like the villain, but made her look like as if she was completely innocent in the situation. Because at the end of the day, every single advice that her friends gave her were more or less, or more likely to have been ignored, purely because the advice that they were given was based on Eve's misinformation towards them. Because right now, I am running underneath the narrative that Mohamed 100% had feelings for Eve. 100% made abundantly clear to Eve about the type of man that he is, and the type of woman that he expects. And she made it abundantly clear to him that she was more than happy to respect the man that he is, the religion he's from, the culture, everything. But then all of a sudden, she starts to say things that were completely the opposite, starts to behave in the opposite way. And then all of a sudden, looking surprised as if Mohamed had never addressed these things prior. When he even said that 2 years, we already had these conversations, you already knew who I am. So what's going on with the switch up? So there is a potential chance that eventually Mohamed got to a stage where he just said to himself, you know what? I feel like maybe I've been lied to, I've been misled. You know what? Now I'm just going to wing it and I'm just going to stick here until I get the green card. Once I get the green card, I'll be off on my way. If you ask me, we now know that he's got a green card because that was announced on the tell. Oh, the question is though, there's now a ticking time bomb to when he's actually going to eventually leave Eve. But of course, I'm assuming he's going to wait until he gets some good work first. In the eyesight, he's probably going to do a Pedro, wait until he gets himself situated financially. And once he's in that good place, boom, he's off, he's gone. But let's continue though, because at the end of the day, right now, I'm struggling to identify why and when Mohamed started to change his tone. And I think at the very beginning, it was easy for me and everyone else to be like, raw, so maybe these were his real intentions. But what we didn't identify is how much Eve potentially had lied to Mohamed and tried to push a narrative towards him that he was never going to be okay with, whilst ignoring any demands or any requests that he wanted. He wanted to become a woman of, he wanted her to convert, but in the end he was like, listen, it's okay, you don't need to convert. As long as you can respect me and my wishes, it's all good. Eve was refusing, or at least came across as if she wasn't willing enough to want to respect his ways. But then that comes down to communication. Communication of him expressing exactly what he wants, what he expects, and her communicating back in an honest manner what she's willing to do and not do, and also what she can also expect for him as well. The whole relationship was based on how Eve should change for Mohamed, but it was never based on how Eve and Mohamed can have a compromise that is healthy. That is so sad. And it's just so frustrating because her friends had already told her that this man is not going to change. The way you want him to be isn't going to happen. The way you want to be around him isn't going to make you happy because he's not going to be happy with that. Meanwhile, Mohamed is identifying that no matter how many times he asks her or no matter how many times he communicates with her about his feelings, Eve was never going to abide by them anyway. Why? Because Eve is always going to be Eve. Honestly, this video has taken a turn. The perspective has now changed. It's now changed into the situation where I'm looking, I'm thinking, Eve was the problem. But we'll continue though, because boy, this is getting more and more interesting if you ask me. But don't forget to like, and let's get it.
Mohamed and I, over the last 2 years, never talked about the specifics of what he expects of me because his culture, religion.
No, that's not right. She went to the same society I was living in 4 times, and that's who I am. It was very clear.
But that's not reality. We were on vacation, so I didn't get to see the day in, day out of how a person would normally act.
I thought that I don't need to explain anything because I felt that you're ready to start a new life.
I know that American life is different than your life, but also I am sad and scared and nervous because I hope that we can figure out how to meld our different lives because they're very different.
I'm not gonna change who I am just because her American friends think that she's gonna be a different person by being with me. I don't know who's Eve gonna listen to, me or her friends. But if Eve not going to accept me for who I am, I'm not gonna be here after the 90 days.
And that right there was the beginning of the Mohamed change. Purely because he feels blindsided. He feels as if as long as Eve has got these friends around her, Eve is never going to stick to whatever her word was supposed to be or whatever conversation that they had prior. Even though she sits there defending herself and saying that, nope, we did not have these conversations. It is a matter of who do we believe. And I think, to be honest with you, I think we should go with the person that then eventually kind of changes their ways because they've got to that pinnacle point of they're just like, I just can't be bothered anymore. I'm too tired for this. Let me just at least get something good out of it. Maybe the green card is that. Interesting. I mean, you tell me, how would you feel in a situation where you're with someone, you've had conversations, and you've agreed on compromise, you've agreed on how one should behave, all that kind of stuff. But then boom, all of a sudden they change that tone when they're around their friends. They change that tone when you go to their country. They change that tone when you're living underneath their roof. Would you still be in a situation where you're looking at that person as someone that you actually want to be with? Or would you eventually be like, you know what, let me just get something out of it? Obviously in this situation, it would be the green card. So you can make that money and send it home. And let's be real, when people get frustrated and people give up on someone or give up on something, people start to act out. Their behavior changes. Their tolerance becomes non-existent. And at that point, it's just boom. Yeah. Continue.
Now we get to figure out, see where the seating is and then do a little more planning of, where things are going to be. Mohamed is upset because I pushed the wedding back, but the venue that I had found fell through. So today we're going on our tour for the new venue. And I hope that Mohamed is more excited and that it'll kind of help him understand how important this wedding is to me. Oh my gosh, look, that's it right there. Oh my God, I don't want to cry right now, but I'm just this has just been such a hard road, and I can't believe it's finally gonna happen. Oh my God.
Eve has passion about her dream wedding, so she's distracted, and all what she cares about right now is having her perfect wedding.
That's so beautiful.
So it's not a priority for Eve when to apply for my adjustment of status, and pushing the wedding a couple weeks will affect me seeing my family maybe because I can't travel to Egypt until I receive my green card. Hardest thing for me. I don't think Eve understands that. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is like a castle.
Yes.
Seeing just the splendor of this magical place that we could get married here is so exciting. I feel like finally, this is real. Oh my gosh, this is the dining room. Oh my gosh, I saw the pictures, but I can't even like believe how gorgeous this is. Oh my gosh, I get to marry my king in a castle. What do you think? Did you ever imagine like that this would be like something like?
No. It's very beautiful, but my whole life it's on hold for this fancy wedding. She has to put my future in consideration. I need to start a career. I need to start my journey in this life.
So, know that we need to kind of discuss like what the actual ceremony is going to be like. I was going to have my friends do it who are ordained, so they're not coming from a specific religious background.
So, like, I want to get married in the mosque. So I feel like I got married in my religion, and we can get married much sooner in the mosque.
Okay. This is a big deal for me, like to like have this moment.
So I understand that Eve wants to have a perfect wedding, but she should compromise. Let's get married now so we can apply for my adjustment of status, and then we can have the same wedding she wants. I don't want to wait even longer until I receive my green card. I cannot explain to you how it feels to feel that you're stuck.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional about it. I just feel like, I don't know.
You're making stuff very huge.
I know that because of Mohammed's faith that he would want to get married in a mosque. But at this point, I just don't feel that comfortable doing that because I know for me, she's, wearing a dress that's showing this or that, or it's too tight or it's too this. Like, I don't want any bad vibes. But I do understand that Mohammed feels that his life is on hold, but it's not just about him. Like, it just hurts my feelings because he's not the only person here. I would just like to be taken into consideration too.
I had no idea how draining Eve was, to be honest with you. I mean, once the perception had changed to Mohammed being a green card chaser, it's like it was easy for anyone to just neglect Eve's actions throughout the whole thing. I mean, listen, let's look at it this way. Mohammed is so far gone now where he's just like, I just want to get the green card so I can start earning money. I can start sending my money home. Eve is still in the perception of, oh yeah, we're finally gonna get married. We're gonna get the marriage that we need, that we want. But because Mohammed's perception has now changed, he's more like, let's just find a compromise. Let's find that compromise. But Eve made it abundantly clear in the very first episode, in the very first clip, that we showed that Eve is always gonna want things the way she wants it. And that is a flaw where Mohammed is missed out on. It's quite fascinating. Because at this point here, and I'm not defending Mohammed's action, don't get it twisted. But at this point here, Mohammed is just looking just to compromise in any way necessary that enables him to get that green card so he can get the hell out. 100%. That is my opinion. But Eve is not reading the fact that Mohammed may have already checked out. But here's the thing though, does it matter or not whether he's already checked out? No. What matters is that Mohammed went from being stubborn to the fact that he already told Eve the type of person that he is and what he expects, to Eve disrespecting in his eyes everything that they had spoken about, and now saying all of a sudden, hold a minute, I've changed my mind. So now he's changed his tone. He's like, you know what? I'm now going to compromise with you so we can just get through this smoothly, as peacefully as possible. But no matter how many times he tried to compromise, Eve was like, no. Now here's the thing though, why though? Is it because she's stuck in her way, or is it because Mohammed's approach just wasn't the best of approaches? I'm gonna go with both. I'm gonna go with one, she's stuck in her ways because that has been her whole thing. The whole time it has all been about me when it comes to both of them. But with Eve even more, because her whole thing was no. You're here, we do it this way. No, you're here, we do it this way. You're not gonna listen to me? Okay, don't worry. Friends, come in. Friends, tell him. No. This is how she's gonna dress. This is how she's gonna behave. Blah 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 blah. So the whole time, Eve's narrative has always been, we're gonna make this about me at any means necessary. And that's her trying to change Mohammed's ways, trying to change who Mohammed is. But of course, Mohammed is stubborn. He's firm to his own beliefs. And he's like, no, we ain't changing that. But he's finally at this stage now where he's like, you know what? I'm going to be open-minded. Let's go back a step. You know, he said that it's not about her converting, it's about her respecting his religion. In this situation, he said, it's not about the fact that he needs, or it's not about the fact that the green card is there. No. It's not about the fact that he doesn't want to give her a wedding that she wants. It's just that he wants to get the green card soon so he can apply for the work visa, so the work visa comes sooner. And then the marriage that she wants, we can redo it at another stage. So this shows us patterns of where he has actually tried to compromise. He has tried to adjust certain things in both of their favors. But Eve has ignored them every single step of the way, and she's made it all about, no, it's me. This conversation is not going to end until it ends in a way that is suitable for me. It's quite crazy now because I sit and I say to myself, so who really was the manipulator in this relationship? That is the question. But the more and more I'm watching this, the more and more I'm sitting thinking, Eve reminds me a lot of Bilal a little bit. But we continue. Let me know what you're thinking though. Is your perspective now changed too? Let's get into it.
Does Mohammed think he can come to this country and just, like, I'm replaceable? It's very hurtful. It's like, he's putting doubts in my head. I am questioning how sincere Mohammed is, because what he said to me is not very loving and caring, and actually, it's cruel.
So I think if this sponsor thing, I just trying to help our situation.
Why would you say that to me, though? That's like saying, oh, I'm just gonna come over here and find another person to marry.
That's not what I said.
Then, well, you should think about what you're sending and saying.
You don't know the immigration rules, I'm telling you. That's
You don't apparently know the rules either.
The sponsor has nothing to do with the person who's a sponsor.
Yes, it does.
It's just
okay, Mohammed.
rules.
Okay,
Situation.
you're not helping the situation, though. You're not helping by sending me these messages of making me feel bad. Well, I already told you what we need to do.
I'm searching to make sure this information is right.
Well,
Because
you need to go look up this again and see if you can just instantaneously get another sponsor.
I'm not
that
sure.
can't happen.
I'm not sure
Then
yet.
why are you sending me like this when you don't even know? You're just causing me more stress. Things had to get rescheduled, not because of me, because of the venue.
I don't care about when is the wedding. I don't care.
Okay, well then go down to the county office or the judge and get married by yourself. You kind of need me. I'm not replaceable.
Because you want to have a wedding. That's why we wedding. This is affecting my life.
Okay, well, do you saying this to me is like making me feel like you think that I'm just replaceable? Do you like love me and like?
Look,
if you love me, you understand.
I have
know
dreams
that.
and goals, and if I'm not,
I have dreams to have a nice wedding.
That's your dream. I have another dreams. If I'm not allowed to work in this country, I want
okay, so it's
to
all
go back
about
to
you.
Egypt.
Well, then go.
All right, get me take a place.
And I'm not. We're done. None. If you leave, I'm not going to Egypt and gonna go and marry you out there.
I don't care. That's your decision.
Wow. Apparently, I am replaceable.
Who knows what it's like to be fed up with someone? Who knows what it's like to be on your last straw? Because to be honest with you, now the more and more I listen to Mohammed's wording, this man was clearly in a position where he was just saying out loud, I want to provide as soon as I can for my family at home. But also at the same time for yourself. But also at the same time, not only provide, but I want to start to compromise with you about ways that we can make things work that's going to be in both of our favor. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm starting to, but the more and more we get into this one here, the more and more I'm sitting and thinking to myself, Mohammed was just now on a path of just compromising. It's crazy because communication is still a part of the whole situation. But the problem with the communication is that no matter how things are communicated, Eve isn't looking to hear that. Eve is only willing to allow everything to end in the way that she dreamed of. It's like a little girl, you know. This is my dream wedding. This is my dream man. This is what I want, everything. It's like Eve is trying to force feed that fantasy, that childhood fantasy. and she's not willing to open her eyes to anything else. And the matter of fact is, this is why that is the biggest red flag, or at least one of the biggest red flags. The fact that she's living in this fantasy world of having to fulfill this wedding that she desires, this lifestyle that she desires, and she desired for such a long time. It's crazy though, because at the end of the day, if Eve is in a position, well, she was in a position where no matter what she did, things were just not going her way. And she always had to keep arguing with Mohamed back and forth every single time. So it brings us the question, so Eve, why did you not just walk away from Mohamed? It makes all the sense. Obviously, Mohamed now is in a position where he's not even telling you that, okay, bye, I'm off. I'm going back. Why didn't Eve use that as an opportunity to say, you know what, you're right, let's just separate? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's because she didn't want him to be right. Maybe because she wanted herself to always be the one that's right. Sometimes always wanting to win and always wanting to be right can blind you from your own behavior. It can lead you down a path that is not acceptable, that is not healthy. There is that too. It is quite interesting, it is quite fascinating. But this is a very sticky relationship of really trying to identify who was right, who was wrong. Who had the red flags? Who was the biggest problem? Because at the end of the day, these were two human beings who just had two different freaking ideas of how to communicate and how to handle their relationship. But I am going to say though, the fact that Mohamed got to a stage where he was looking to now compromise certain things was definitely a positive on his behalf, regardless of what his agenda may have been. Because at least he was looking to adjust. Eve was not looking to adjust, compromise, or walk away. And you think Eve, being the older person in the situation, she would have been the first one looking to either compromise, adjust, or go the other way. Especially given the fact that she's someone who's got a kid as well. Mohamed may have ended up as the villain in the season in terms of their relationship. And Mohamed is the one that I called out multiple times for manipulating Eve. No, bond that. This fool wasn't even smart enough to try and manipulate, because he wasn't even smart enough to word his words properly. When he started talking about sponsors, all these kind of things, this is him just speaking out loud. Mohamed had an issue with just saying things out loud and not really thinking about them. Does this kind of person really have the ability to manipulate? Eve was the one that was trying to manipulate the whole time. But then again, maybe there was no manipulation from either one of these two people. It was just a matter of, you're just not compatible. Because your communication skills are different, your approaches are different, what you both want in a relationship is different. One of you is 100% a liar and loves to change their mind.
I was really mad and upset last night.
Can we have a better day than yesterday?
I also...
Mohamed and I had an argument, and he told me basically he was going to find a new sponsor because he didn't feel like I was getting the paperwork done on a timely basis in his eyes, and it hurts my feelings that Mohamed doesn't really care how much the ceremony means to me. I hope that this is not a pattern I do it. It wasn't intentional to delay the wedding. I understand.
Yeah.
You were mad, but I didn't do it on purpose. It's out of my control.
I was upset because I think that we could do it earlier and we have time and we're not stressed.
I understand he feels like he's put his life on hold, and that's been such a big sacrifice to him. And plus, we waited 2 years to be together, and I don't want to give up on each other. I just never want to look in your eyes and see that much anger that you had yesterday. It was awful.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm calling it. I'm calling this. This whole relationship was all about Eve trying to I don't want to use the word manipulate, but this whole relationship was about Eve fulfilling her dream wedding. That's it. Mohamed says, I'm going to leave. I originally thought that was him being manipulative. Eve comes in. She's like, for the first time, I don't want to give up on this wedding. I don't want to give up on this, on everything. It's been 2 years. I know you didn't mean what you said. This is Eve manipulating herself. This is Eve convincing herself so she can then convince Mohamed that everything's A-okay. And let's continue as. I know I'm making sense in my own head. Whether I'm making sense out loud is a different conversation. You know, when it gets like that. But it is evidently clear to me that Mohamed was not actually the bad person in the relationship. And I'm not even saying that Eve was necessarily the bad person in the relationship. It's just that no matter what happened, Eve would always try and make it resolve with herself. That was the goal every single time. Me. Because really and truly, where was the compromise in that conversation? Where was the compromise in that conversation? And in the end, what type of wedding did they have? In the end, who got what they seeked out to get from the very first clip that I showed you at the beginning of this video? Eve. She got the wedding, everything. To think at this moment in time, we are on episode 14. I've still got 15, 16, 17 to go with. Let's see what else we can crack. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So we'll do 2 because we'll go over here. So that's like 2 bumps. Is that okay? It's not too tight. What's going on with the wedding? Did you go check out the venue? Yes, it's beautiful, gorgeous. Did he like it? I hope he was excited. I don't know if it was like overwhelming for him. Was he just all quiet? A little, but one thing I was really hurt by is that like he was getting upset because he didn't think that I was taking it seriously as far as like getting things accomplished. And I'm like, it's not my fault. Like things canceled. I had to reschedule. And he like freaked out and told me that he was gonna get another sponsor. What? I'm like, I'm the petitioner. Like, you can't just, I am his sponsor. But I know, but that's mean. It was super mean. And that just like makes you seem like you're replaceable and he could just pick someone else to just like marry him. You know, but hold on. I just like, first off, sir, if it takes the full 90 days to find out if he's like a jackass, that's important to fully like have. You know what I mean? I mean, I know, you know, sometimes when we get pissed off, we say certain things that we don't mean. It still feels kind of raw. I feel like I'm still kind of hurt by that. But he did apologize, and I'm trying to be understanding more about his feelings. I'm glad that you guys talked about it, and you guys are in a better spot. But like, that's a crazy thing to say before you guys get married. Well yeah, I agree. No, I agree. But he does have a very amazing, kind soul and heart. Therein accepts him, and so I just want everybody else for him to see you guys in that light, and you to see that in his heart and light too. Okay, well, does he want to see us again? What does he have to say? What does he have to say about it? I would like you all to get together again, and for the love of me, I would appreciate that because I do not want people to be. Who does he hate the most? Tell me. I won't tell him. Tell me. The initial meeting of the squad didn't go over that well with Mohamed. I think there was a lot of cultural shock for him. We have some questions for you. Is it okay if we?
You can ask me anything.
Have you ever had sex with any other women? How did you know what to do then? If you've never, no, really, like, have you ever watched porn?
I'm very curious why you're judging me. You can't hide it, actually. You know, like, I see in your eyes everything.
We see in your eyes too.
If Mohamed can't get along with the squad before the wedding, it's gonna be difficult because I'm not willing to lose my friends. So
interesting. Honestly, every single scene that Eve has with her friends, I'm legit calling it pointless. Because you see, every single scene that she has with her friends will always tell her everything that at least we thought that she should be listening to. But she never listened, and the question was always why? Eve has an agenda, and her agenda matters more than anything else. If it's not about her agenda, well, then it's irrelevant. Point blank, period. Tell me otherwise. Let me know. Because as far as I'm concerned, how can you have a bunch of friends who keep pointing out things that tell you that you shouldn't really be getting married anytime soon, or if not at all, to Mohamed? But you notice how in the conversation that she's now being defensive about Mohamed. Usually she wasn't necessarily defensive about him neither. In this one she was. Why? Because Eve is allegedly now trying to compromise a little bit. She's now looking to understand Mohamed a little bit. But this whole time she wasn't actually looking to compromise with Mohamed. She wasn't even looking to understand Mohamed. She was looking to just make sure that she gets what she wants. But now she's at the stage where Mohamed has been for a while, and that is the stage of if we're gonna make this work, and we're gonna get to that touchline, maybe I should compromise just a little bit. And now she's at that stage. The difference is though, did she really compromise though, or was she just playing the game? The game of coming across as if she's now willing to compromise. But again, the agenda for Eve is so she can get the wedding that she wants. For Mohamed, we can still say, to keep it fair, his agenda was to get the green card. But again though, I don't believe that the green card was actually his sole purpose to begin with. And to be honest with you, I do generally still feel like maybe there's a part of him that still has that feelings for her. Despite the texts that came out, the information that came out of Eve allegedly speaking to another woman, I do question that more and more if that was actually legit real. But if it was real, this is not an excuse to cheat. But if it was real, it can only be because Eve pushed him over the edge in the end with her stubbornness of when I move, there will no longer be any sound effects like that. Okay, at least I hope so. That was the agenda, you know what I mean? Because we don't need that, do we now? Get a damn new bike, you fool. Nonetheless though, let's continue. Also, let's identify how Eve is so stubborn to the fact that Mohamed and her friends should get along. To be fair with you, ever since he threatened to leave, she's now on this whole thing about, oh no, we're not gonna badmouth Mohamed no more. No, things are getting better. Don't worry, girls, okay? Because she now wants her friends to get along with Mohamed because she wants her friends to now behave. So therefore, Mohamed won't leave her. So therefore, she gets the wedding that she deserves. That she wants. Always wanted. Because before, she had no issues with slagging him off, talking XYZ about him behind his back with his girlfriends, with her girlfriends. But now, it's no, girls, it's okay. Don't worry. The way the tone has changed, but yet, this is the thing though. She is now changing her mind to her friends at the most bizarre time, at the most bizarre moment ever. Because this is after Mohamed legit just spoke about sponsors and leaving you. Before that, when you was calling out to your friends, he wasn't even saying anything nowhere near as threatening or that bad. But now you want to be all friendly about Mohamed to your friends about why you should marry him? Tell me there isn't an agenda here by Eve to manipulate the situation. Now in this situation, we can definitely use the word manipulate. But let's continue.
I never get lost. It's very easy.
Wedding is right around the corner. I just thought it would be nice to get my squad, the girls, back together and be able to spend some more time together so we could get to know each other a little better. Because it's kind of a tumultuous first meeting. So I'm going to see if everybody can come.
And where is that house?
At our house.
Great.
I get that Mohamed was uncomfortable about how forward the squad was being with him. And from what he insinuated, it's like basically he never wanted to see or talk to them again. And I was pretty devastated by that. I don't want to lose any of these people in my life, so I really hope that we can smooth things over. So what I thought would be nice if we do a fire ceremony and expose you to some of the other kind of healing work that I do. I'm trying to show you this is my ceremony, my rituals that like I do that mean a lot to me. And I feel like I'm so open to like learning about your religion, going to the mosque and experience it. Like this is my church.
I just, like if I don't feel comfortable around them, why you're pushing me to be around them? If they are...
I'm asking you to do something that means a lot to me. You know, like, can I just, like, would appreciate you, like, being more open. What I'm trying to show
that
you.
I don't like them. I'm open about it.
That's not being open. That was, like, one meeting.
If we are in Egypt, I would never have these kind of friends to be my fiancé friends. And I would never share the same table as the squad anymore. I wouldn't see them in my wedding day. I just want to remind you that they were not very respectful to me.
Can you, like, think of me? Like,
Worried
how
about
hard this is for me? Like, I'm stuck in the middle. These people mean so much to me. You mean so much to me. Like, this is important for me to try to, like, make things better, make things work. I'm not that close with my family. So I've built and created a new family with my friends. That's why they're so important to me. Because I don't really have a sense of family anymore. They're my family now. The day of our wedding that people are, like, feeling ill feelings towards each other, that's gonna break my heart.
I just want to let that very clear to you, that I'm not gonna allow any person to interrogate me anymore.
I'm asking you to just experience something that I do with some friends of mine.
This sounds crazy to me.
So many things to uncover there, but let's keep it simple. First things first, me. Second thing is this one. Mohamed says this is just also crazy. Why is he saying that? Because you see, you want him all of a sudden now to get along with your friends, and you're confident that your friends and Mohamed are now going to get along, even though at the very beginning you got your friends to basically ambush him, and you want him to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fine, yeah, I'll give your friends another chance, even though they interrogated me about my sexual life. Things that are personal to me, things that I probably wouldn't even really tell you. But yeah, no, it's okay. You see, because this is Eve now she's now trying to mold everything in. She's done her damage. She's now trying to bring it all back in so she can get what she wants. That wedding that she wants, with the man that she wants, and with the friends that she wants to be there. The family, the squad, shall I say. The squad. Honestly, I'm actually mind blown. I'm actually mind blown really and truly by how the tables have turned in my mind about their relationship, to be honest with you. Honestly, the whole time it was just Eve being Eve. Me. And the fact that she doesn't even want to be understanding to the fact why he's being a bit reluctant says it all. Says it all. But like I said, I'll keep that one a little bit simple. Let's continue. And also, let's add that, like, Mohamed is in a position where he's thinking, wow, all of a sudden you want me and your friends to get along. I'm not saying you didn't want it before, but now you're really pushing for it as if they've not done anything offensive to me. And it's not really nice that you're ignoring the fact that they didn't do anything nice to me. Like, have you even spoken to them about their behavior towards me? How do I know they're going to be nice to me? Because at the end of the day, the welcoming that they gave me was not a good one. And I'm not looking to experience it again. But he wasn't looking to really, understand that bit or even to nitpick part, because at the end of the day, we know that Mohamed's communication skills, or at least in this video now, the more I uncover it, his communication skills were just terrible. They were terrible, and that's what got him in trouble with the audience, thinking that he was this and that, which maybe he still may be. But his communication skills obviously hasn't been to the best. But you'd think Eve, being his lover, the woman that loves him, would understand that his communication skills aren't necessarily the best. And maybe sometimes she needs to be more understanding to what he's trying to say rather than what he is actually saying. Because what he's actually saying isn't the same as what he's trying to say. I think that is very evident. But let's continue.
Shortly, this is an opportunity to start fresh and maybe have an opportunity to all get to know each other in a different way, because I would like to all turn a new leaf so you guys can really understand why I all care about you so much.
I will be nice if they are nice to me, but if I feel judged or attacked, I will defend myself.
Perfect timing. Hi, my love.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Mohamed. How are you?
Stick. Anything that you feel like you want to release,
Yes.
you blow, and you can do as many as you
So I
want.
wrote stuff. Like,
Cool.
I have a bunch of
Oh,
I
you
have
can-
an intention for you.
Aw.
Yes, and then I have a few that I'm going to be releasing and also manifesting.
The craziest thing is that why does Mohamed not get along with her friends? And why do her friends not get along with Mohamed? Oh, I know why. It's because Eve told her friends things that wasn't so good about Mohamed and had them ready to go and attack him. And then when they attacked him, she also attacked him too. So the interesting part is, why doesn't Eve hold herself accountable? If she really wants things to go well with her friends and Mohamed, she should have been like, listen guys, I'm so sorry. It is my fault about what went down because I voiced to you obviously certain things that maybe I should have never had. And when you did address them, instead of me telling you guys to calm down, I then also instigated at the same time. And to be honest, I'm going to hold my hands up that I didn't do the best job. But I promise you now that this man here is the man that I want to marry because he makes me happy, all that kind of mumble jumble. And it would be really crucial if we can all just make it work now. Okay? And then she could have said the same thing to Mohamed, blah, 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 blah. But there's none of that. Accountability is a powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen, but a lot of people don't want to use accountability to save their relationships. And that is just sad. Only accountability was taken more seriously. Maybe there would have been more hope for their relationship. Maybe. But hey, if you're in a relationship with someone that's accountable, things really and truly will just never improve. Yeah.
Last few weeks have been very tense. I just feel like everything lately that I've been doing is like wrong or not, to his approval, like in the fire ceremony, which is a huge part of who I am. And it makes me question whether we should proceed with getting married, and we don't have that much time to figure it out. So I just would like for the future, if things happen are as intense as they've been, that we can work through them in a more easy way or
Yeah, of course, if
open way.
we are learning, no one is perfect, and if we learn our lessons, we would never have that again, so,
Okay, like you always had my back. Like being 7,000 plus miles away from me, you always supported me. Like, I want to feel that way again.
And now you don't feel it anymore?
I kind of was not feeling that, like, lately. You're okay with handling, like, me? Like, do you think we're too different, being that we're so different, like, religious-wise, culturally-wise? I mean, I think that you had some sense, obviously, knowing what I was doing on a daily basis, but you're, like, living it with me now, like, for real.
In the United States, everyone is different, so it doesn't matter. Everyone practices the religion he wants. I understand that. My mom advice helped me to open my eyes that in marriage, it's important to compromise. I lived my entire life in Egypt, and it's very hard for anybody to just switch to another culture. That takes time. But I love Eve so much, and if we don't find a middle ground about culture, there is no more days. It will be done. Let's forget about what happened. We can start over.
I just want to know that we can get through things together in the best way possible, because life is stressful enough. I'm a little taken aback because for the first time, Mohamed is being very objective about our differences. Maybe Mohamed is trying to be a little more understanding, but it's hard because I still feel very guarded.
Guarded. It's interesting though because Mohamed is obviously talking. No, I'm not sorry. Eve was talking about how things used to be, how he used to, how things were and whatnot, and now she wants it all to go back in that direction. But the problem with the conversation is that there was never a point where she spoke about why or where did things go wrong. That is an actual conversation of how to build and improve your relationship. Because if they had that conversation, well, then she wouldn't be walking away with a comment like, I'm still feeling guarded. You would have walked away with saying, I'm so happy we had that conversation. I'm so happy that we was able to, to realize certain conversations we had in the past, so we can get our priorities straight, what we want, what we expect. But there was none of that, because at the end of the day, this was all a conversation to say, you know what, I'm gonna compromise a little bit here and there. I'm gonna say this and that here and there, because really and truly, I want to get the marriage that I want. And to get what I want, I'm just gonna say, hey, I really wish, I wish the way I miss the way we was. It's like, honestly, when there's no progression, when there is no progression in any kind of way whatsoever in a conversation, it's like, so why are we even having the conversation? But nonetheless, though, this is where we leave it. So after this, all they do is get married anyway. And we all know what happens at the wedding. But hey, let me know what you're thinking down below. Has your perspective of Mohamed and Eve's relationship changed? Because really and truly, I went into this video, as you already know, exposing Mohamed's ways of, forcing the green card and Eve's ways. But now it's ended up with more how Eve was doing whatever she can to control the narrative, to manipulate the narrative. Green card or no green card, I think end of the day, Mohamed was always being genuine throughout the whole freaking season. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, obviously, you know, we all changed our mind, but at the end of the day, it was evident at the very beginning that that everything that he had said to her was everything that she was now looking to turn her back on. Because he was now in America and she now wanted things to go her way, because at the end of the day, it was always about Eve getting what Eve wanted, and that was the marriage that she's always, and that was the wedding that she'd always desired. The things that people do, right? Just for what? Nonetheless, though, let me know what you're thinking and we'll talk about it. Like, subscribe, and peace.